Hi, welcome to 90% Knitting. This is episode 151, and I'm Lisa, your host, also known as Fiber Nymph on Ravelry, Plurk, and Instagram. Today is Thursday, February 5th, and I'm hoping the light will cooperate. I'm trying something new. It's bright and sunny. I've been spending all morning getting ready to do the podcast, and now it's like 10 o'clock in the morning, and the sun's streaming in from the left. I shouldn't complain about the sun because, it's winter, but we had fresh snow last night, so everything's just reflecting and bright and blinding and not making for good light in here. And so I'm trying something new. I have a piece of poster board, white poster board, taped with duct tape up to my one window here right next to me. I'm trying to block out that glary light that usually, sorry, now I'm adjusting, that falls across my face and makes everything weird and you can't see anything. Right now on the screen, it looks okay. The lighting looks okay. So hopefully that will continue, but it seems to keep fluctuating. So I don't know. Doing the best I can. So anyway, hi, how are you? I'm tired and I'm a little cranky today. Not for any one reason, just I think I've had it with winter. I know you keep hearing me say that, but I'm really, really tired of winter. And I know this is my Monday mug, but today's not Monday, it's Thursday, but it suits my mood. So we're going to go with it. And I need the coffee. Okay, let's get started, lest I just sit here and blather on and babble and grumble. Because you didn't tune in to see that, did you? Okay, nobody new introduced themselves on the knitting board, on the 90% knitting board this week, but that doesn't mean we don't have new people watching. So hello, if you are new, welcome, and please do introduce yourself in the welcome thread if you would like to. That's always fun. I have things to show you, and I feel like I did not have an overly prolific week. At least I was feeling that way last night when I was thinking about, getting stuff together for the podcast today. And then as I gathered things, I realized, well, maybe I got a little more done than I thought I did. But I think most of it I did shortly after I recorded last week. And the last couple of days, I didn't get much done at all. So that's why it was sort of feeling like I don't really have anything new to talk about. But I do. So first thing is a finished object. And I have finished my Tappy Hattie by Allison Britt. I love this thing. And I'm going to put it on even though it's going to just do terrible things to my hair. But you have to see it in all of its tap. Yeah, okay. Let me try that again. See, this is why I don't wear really clingy hats, because they just do terrible things to my hair. Anyway, I just love the tassels. If you remember, the pattern had pom-poms on the ends. And I wasn't going to do pom-poms. I knew I wanted to do tassels. I don't even have them even. I just think this hat is so much fun. It's a happy, brightly colored, crazy colored hat, and the tassels just are perfect. You cannot actually be unhappy while wearing something with tassels on it, because you can go like this and just, it's just a fun thing. So anyway, I'm so happy with how this turned out. And now we will go back to my hair, and yeah, it'll just kind of look weird for the rest of the show, but that's okay. The Tappy Hattie, it's by Allison Britt. I used my Fiber Nymph Dye Works Bonafide base, which is my DK weight base. This was the Dark Fire colorway. I knit it on US 6s, and it was a wonderful pattern. Absolutely perfect. I had no trouble with it. The only thing that slowed me down a little bit was at the end where you have to do the 3-needle bind off at the top. I realized I don't think I've ever done a 3-needle bind off. In all the years I've been knitting, it appears that I've never done one, because I was trying to follow the instructions for it, and she has them written so that as you do it, you're actually lining up these columns of slip stitches on either side so they meet at the top, which is handy. You want them to meet. Not that anybody's maybe going to be paying that close of attention, but I was trying to follow those instructions, and it took me a little bit of time to catch on and really get it going. But once I did, it was fine. It worked great. It looks nice. And yeah, and I also had to kind of Google how to make tassels, because I don't know that I've ever, I mean, maybe I've made tassels. I've made pom-poms, and it's sort of a similar thing. You wrap yarn around something. I used my cell phone, actually. I wrapped the yarn around my cell phone lengthwise. and then stuck the top piece of string through and tied it off at the top. And then I took it off my phone and then tied it, this part around here. And then once that was secure, I went and I cut through the loops to make them all individual. So that was how I did my tassels, and it worked fine. And then my cell phone was the perfect size because I really didn't even have to trim these at all, just to even them out, but I didn't have to make them any shorter. So yay. Samsung S4 or 4S or whatever. Perfect size for tassels. So that is my Tappy Hattie. It is finished. So yay. And it used about 80% of the ball of yarn, which worked out to be approximately 185 yards. The pattern says that it will take 153 to 186 yards. I'm guessing that that was based on test knitters, you know, what they used. So I definitely used up towards the higher end of that, literally like 1 yard less. But that also includes my tassels. So I'm thinking if you were doing pom-poms, little pom-poms, that maybe wouldn't take as much yardage. But I would definitely count on using about 185 yards in along there of a DK weight. So anyway, good pattern. Loved it. Highly recommend it if you want something fun. Make a fun gift too. You would think it'd be great for a kid, but I'm not a kid and I would wear it. I don't know how much I will wear it just because I want to have it nice for my show tables, you know, a sample. But anyway, all right. I've also worked on things. The Another Door Opens shawl. I'm going to move my keyboard out of the way because this is what I did last time that made me have to record multiple times. Because I hit the keyboard and it stopped recording. Okay. The Another Door Opens shawl by Sarah Bauer. You have seen this several times now. My goal was for January was to be 50% done with it by the end of January. And when I recorded last week, I think I was 2 rows away from that. Well, I finished those 2 rows that same day. So I definitely hit my goal, and I actually got to 60% before January ended. So I was pretty happy with that. I'm actually like 3 rows past 60% now. It's still on my same needles. Oh, no. Wait. I'm losing stitches. Hang on. Help, help. Stitches down. Okay, just hold on. I'm going to have to re-knit those last couple. It's only a couple. Oh, wait, I missed one. I'm sorry. We just have to avert disaster here because there are no lifelines being used for this project. Okay, so here it is. Let's see. You're seeing the incorrect side. This is the right side. And I know I'm holding it upside down at this point, but I'm afraid of losing stitches to hold it the other way. So, oh, and here's a stitch marker that also came off. Okay, I will reinsert that later. I'm still working through the, okay, well, actually, that's not true. Okay, I hit 60%, 3 rows after the 60% point in the pattern. So 60%, you know, I'm still working the new door opening, that middle panel that's opening up. But at this point now, within that panel, I believe you're working more increases, and it gives it like this curved look. So that's where I stopped because I had to think about it for a little while. The increases are done by knitting the row below, and I don't understand that. I think I know what she means, but I think it just sort of ends up being kind of a, I mean, you're knitting that bar in between 2 stitches maybe? I don't know. I'm really not 100% sure. I'm going to have to look that up or maybe email the designer and ask specifically what she means, because there's also make one rights, make one lefts. So I'm thinking if you were doing that, she would have specified that. I'm not sure how that differentiates between knit the row below to do an increase. I've done knit the row below as a type of stitch that it makes a different stitch, but it doesn't do an increase when you do that. So that's what I'm a little confused about. So I haven't worked any more on that since I got to this new section because I'm still contemplating it, but it's okay because I'm making really good progress on it and I still love it. It's beautiful. The yarn is 3 Irish Girls Adorned Sock Base in the You Are My Sunshine colorway, and US 6 is on that as well. So Okay, what else? I am also working on my Atlantic Current sock. Still on the first sock. This one's probably the project that has gotten the least amount of attention this week, only because I love this yarn so much and it makes me happy, and I'm just trying to sort of prolong the happy. But I had a hair appointment on Saturday, so this was the project that went with me, and I worked on the heel decreases, the gusset decreases, and I finished those last night actually. So I am now just to the point where I'm knitting the foot out straight. So still loving it. This is the Atlantic Current sock pattern by Melissa Tuttle Sibley, and I'm using Unwind Yarn Company's Journey sock in the Feria de Valencia colorway. And I saw on Instagram yesterday that Dana posted that she was so inspired by seeing me work on my sock in this colorway, which was a club colorway, that she's dyeing it for her shop now for the first time since she did do it for the club a couple years ago. So if you like this colorway, you might want to check out one of her upcoming shop updates and see if there's any available, because it is a very awesome colorway. So making progress there. I've also worked on the Mama Vertebrae. Sorry, I was trying to see what was next on the list, which was just barely started the last time you saw it. I think I had maybe an inch or so. It has seen some progress, and I've got to say, I am loving this. It's a very simple pattern, and it still really doesn't look like very much because it's all scrunched up on the needles. But here, you can see some of the raglan increases here. Maybe it focuses. Yeah, there you go. So I'm loving this project mainly because I adore this yarn. I mean, I told you of my adoration for this last time. This is Elspeth Levold Silky Wool, and it's color 50. It's just so nice to work with. It really is. It doesn't matter to me that the pattern is super simple, that I'm just doing a lot of knit rows and purl rows. I don't care. I just love the textural experience of knitting with this yarn. It is such a happy thing for me. I don't have this experience every single time I knit. I mean, there's a lot of yarns I do like to knit with, and they're great, but to really, really enjoy the textural feel and the look and the way it's playing out, because it's not a super smooth yarn. I mean, it's soft and there is an inherent smoothness to it because of the silk in it, but it's not, the visual texture is not smooth like you would have with, you know, a superwash merino or something, you know, that's worsted spun. And I mean, this actually may very well be worsted spun. I don't know, but it is, it's just lovely, just absolutely lovely. And so it's another project that I'm not like in a hurry to finish, only because, I mean, I do want to finish because I want to be able to wear it, but I'll be sad when I'm done knitting it because I'll be done using the yarn, and I'm trying so hard not to add more yarn to my stash at this point. So I don't want to buy more, and I don't have that much left, but I mean, I have enough in this colorway to do the sweater, I hope. But I've got like 3 skeins right there in this corner of that bin, 2 of one color and 1 of another color. And that's it. That's all of my Elspeth Levold Silky Wool stash that's left. So anyway, I'm going to just enjoy this while I'm knitting it. And now, somebody mentioned to me on the board, I think from last week's episode thread, to be sure to measure as I go the decreases for the raglan decreases, because I guess the way the pattern's written, a lot of people have had trouble with the armholes being too deep and ending up too big. So that's something I am going to be looking to make sure I don't end up having a problem with that. But anyway, these I'm working on my, these are also US 6. Honestly, I play, you know, US 6 seems to be my needle these days. And this is the Knitter's Pride I forget what kind of Knitter's Prides they are, the colored wooden ones. I really like these, especially in the bigger sizes. I had a sock size pair and I didn't care for them because I felt like I was knitting with toothpicks and they were going to break, but I do like these the larger size ones. They're just really pleasant and they've got a really nice pointy point on them. So that makes me happy. But anyway, that is the Mama Vertebrae. Very happy with its progress and the experience in knitting it. And I love that color, that naturalish color. I'm seeing a lot of that actually right now, which you're going to see soon. Speaking of which, the project that I started this past week was the Sheep Heid hat. Let's get it here. By Kate Davies. This is my project for the Stranded Colorwork KAL that Melissa from Meltran Designs and I are co-hosting for February and March. So it's the knit along started February 1st, and that's when I cast on. And here is my basket of Jamieson and Smith Shetland Supreme Yarny goodness, crunchy. I love the crunchiness. And this one is not in its wrapper because this is the next color I do need to use. Shetland Supreme Jumper Weight, 100% real Shetland wool, dye free. And it's just beautiful. I love this yarn. I mean, it's for a hat, so it's not going to matter. It's not like the softest yarn in the world, so if you're really bothered by things that are prickly or, you know, that you can feel a little roughness to, this may not be the thing you would want to use for like a sweater or something, but you may. I don't know. It might not bother you. I'm enjoying it. At any rate, the brim was supposed to be done. Oh, seriously? I'm losing stitches on this too. I need to be a little bit better about my stitch management here. Stick that in there. This is as far as I've gotten. Let me tell you that. So I've done the brim and I've done the first chart. I don't know how well. It's suddenly not bright in here. It was bright, now it's not bright. So sorry for the kind of sucky lighting. And I'm not trying to give you the middle finger. I'm just trying to open that up so that you can see the stitch pattern. It's not part of the sheep yet, really, per se. At least not so much as I can tell. I'm not going to hold up the... No, it's not. It's just sort of a little colorwork band that goes around. And then the next chart will be the sheep, which will be very, very fun. I can't wait to get to them. The pattern takes a little thought, I'm finding. Number one, needles. Well, I bought the needles right around the same time I ordered the kit from Jamieson in the Shetland Islands. I did order it directly from them. The pattern calls for using 2.75 millimeters for the brim and 3 millimeters for the rest of the hat for the colorwork. Okay, well, they say that 2.75 millimeters would be a US 2. It is very, very hard to find 2.75 millimeter needles that read US 2. Addie has a needle that they say is a US 2, but it's a 3 millimeter needle. The sizing is not the same. They also, I don't know if Addie makes a 1.5. I think maybe they don't, and that's why I don't have it, because I ended up ordering a US 1, which is 2.5 millimeters, according to Addie, but in reality, my other table says a US 1 is 2.25 millimeters. So I don't know. I'm kind of in between. I'm like a 1/4 of a millimeter smaller on the brim needle that I used than what was called for, and I'm using the correct millimeters for the hat, even though it's not the correct US size on here. Whatever. It's working fine, and honestly, I don't think I would have wanted to have used a larger needle for the brim because it's fairly open. Now, I do suspect that once this hat is done and I soak it to block it, I think this yarn is going to puff up. I think it's going to bloom. So I'm not worried about that at all. The color work, I mean, holy strands, Batman, there are going to be so many ends to weave in because you're working with 9 colors. I am not carrying 9 colors up the inside of this hat. That would be horribly insane and a mess. So there are a lot of ends. happening, and that's okay. My other issue with this pattern, though, is with the colors. Now, if you look at these colors, okay, here, let me stick this puppy back in here just so that you can get an idea. I mean, look at the 9 colors. All right, some of them are quite different. There's a white, there's a black, but then there's all those few different shades of gray, few different shades of like the browns and stuff. They're really similar, okay? That presents an issue to me, number one, because I'm mostly knitting on this at night in my living room, and the lighting out there is not fabulous. I keep thinking maybe I need to get an OT light. I wish I had one a lot of times. I don't have one. They're pricey, and I haven't ordered one yet. So I'm thinking I might get one. Might help with my lighting issues in here for recording too. I don't know. They're super bright though. That might be too much. Anyway, the other issue though is in the pattern, there's a key for the charts. The key has a little block showing a representation for each color. Those representative blocks pretty much look nothing like the actual colors of the wool. So that's a little misleading, which I know they're so similar it would be hard to do, you know, the exact colors. But I'm thinking about like my experience with cross stitch, where the colors on your cross stitch pattern, your chart, are usually really, really close to the actual colors you're using. That's what I'm used to, and that's not the case here. So anyway, you've got the key with the little blocks of color, and it lists the color by both number and color name. Okay, so 2001 is white, 2006 is Gulmagot, and so on. Well, in the pattern, when she's telling you what color to switch to, she's only using the color name. On the ball bands, they don't give you the color name, they only give you the color number. So I'm playing a game of match the color name in the pattern instructions to the color number on the ball band using the key that has both. Somebody should have thought this out a little bit better. Personally, that's my feeling. I realized the easiest thing for me to do would be to just take a pen and go through all of my ball bands and write on them what the color name is. And I probably actually will do that before too long. I don't know why I haven't done it yet, but that's the biggest thing. The other thing that I realized really soon that I'm going to have to be super careful with is, as I'm using these skeins, I have got to immediately put the correct ball band back on that skein of yarn so that I know what color it is the next time I need to use it, because they are not easily discernible, at least not to me. I mean, I know I've got the old eyes, but you know what? They're not. They're just not easy. Like, okay, here. I'm going to pull these 3 out. Maybe I've already made my point and I don't really need to continue to drive it home. But like these 3, on the camera you can definitely see a bit of a difference. At 10 o'clock at night in my living room working by a lamp, those 3 colors don't look all that different to me. And without the ball bands being appropriately affixed to the balls, I am just simply going to be screwed. Plain and simple. So anyway, I'm making slow progress on this. This is a 2-month knit along. It may take me all 2 months to get this hat done, unless I hit a rhythm. But I think I'm doing okay. I'm trying to remember to stretch my knitting as I go to keep the floats from getting too tight. So I'm trying to be very mindful of that. This yarn has lovely bounce to it, though. It is just fabulous. I love this yarn. It's crunchy and happy and just natural. It doesn't still smell like sheep like some does, and I'm sure it's maybe a little bit more processed than some like natural farm wools that you can get at shows and stuff, but it's still absolutely gorgeous and I love it. Even just like look at the brim, like those first 3 rows of the brim, it was black and one of the browns and then gray before you moved up here into this lighter brown. And I don't know how well you can see it. Maybe on this outside edge you can see it a little bit better. But the colors just flow together so nicely. It's gorgeous. I just love it. But it is definitely a challenge. And I'm not by any means a pro at color work. I've done a little here and there, but not a lot. And so it's definitely stretching the boundaries of my skills, so to speak. So hopefully when I'm done with it, it'll be a little easier because I have other color work projects that I would like to do, other stranded color work. Probably not within the confines of this knit along, but still. Okay, so that has been started. I am underway. I hope you guys, if you're participating in the Stranded Colorwork knit along, I hope you're joining in. I would love to see pictures of your works in progress. You can't post those in the finished object thread, but please post them in the main knit along chatter thread on the 90% knitting board. And I think Melissa probably has one in her board too for Meltrian Designs. Please chat about it. I want to see all the cool things you're making, whether it's something just small, like maybe a colorwork mug cozy, or if you're planning to do a sweater that you're going to steek or something. I would love to just watch and see the progress coming along. So please, please, please post pictures so that we can all enjoy them. And you've got plenty of time to join in still. I mean, we're not even through the first week of February, and this is a 2-month-long knit along, so you've got plenty of time to come and join the fun. Okay. That's all my knitting this week. I guess I got a little bit more done than I thought I did. I do have spinning too. I did 2 different spinning projects this week. Well, actually 3, but the one isn't in spinning. It's spinning adjacent, we'll call it. I'll show you that in a minute. The first one is this one. This is one of Unwind Yarn Company's Kaleidoscope bats. And this one had Merino BFL, Swirl BFL, Polworth, Tussa Silk, and Firestar. And I got about 92 yards of, I don't know, I would say maybe not a fingering weight. I'm going to say like a worsted weight, a light worsted weight probably when it knits up. It was 3 ounces. I don't think I showed you this one last time. I feel like this was one that is new. I know I showed you a bunch of spinning last time. But even if you did see it, hey, it's pretty, so. Anyway, I like it. I love it a lot. I love spinning her bats. She makes really, really nice bats. So maybe I spun a different one of her bats last time. I don't remember now. Anyway, so that was one of them. And then this one, this one I was really enjoying. Okay, here's the colors. Aren't the colors beautiful? It's these yellows and peaches and just warm apricot colors. Gorgeous. I don't know that the camera's really doing it justice because the lighting, again, has shifted and it's sort of sucky. But trust me, it's just warm and comforting and bright, and I love it. This was from Zarzuela's Fibers. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. She used to have an Etsy and Art Fire shop. I don't believe she's dying anymore at all. I think she discontinued her shop a couple of years ago because she also teaches yoga, I believe, and she was pursuing that endeavor and not having enough time to do the dyeing. That's what I remember from Plurk, from her saying Plurk. So I picked up this fiber. It's Superwash BFL in the Indian Corn colorway. I picked this up, I think maybe in her like kind of going out of business sale. I spun it up to be about 143 yards of who knows what weight, honestly, because I don't know what was going on with this. The first half, I took the braid and I just split it in half, like this way, not lengthwise. Split it in half. I spun the first half straight. It spun beautifully. I was using my Traveler. Spun gorgeous, just beautiful, uniform, wonderful. Then I took the other half and I started splitting it lengthwise. So I'm doing fractal spinning here. And I started spinning that on another bobbin. I did about half of it and I stopped because I didn't have time to do any more. Then I waited a few days because I was too busy. And so then last night I decided, you know what, I want to finish this so that I can show it on the podcast today. Well, that was a really bad idea because number one, I really wasn't in the mood to spin last night. Number two, I was really, really tired. I spent probably an hour yesterday outside splitting firewood, and then I also went to the gym, and I was tired, and my hand, even like from my drafting fingers, like it hurts in here, and I'm pretty sure that's from holding the chopping maul when I was swinging. So I was not in a zone to spin. And I think I was spinning way faster and less controlled than I had started out. So pretty much the whole second half of the second half was overspun to the point of having those little itty bitty corkscrewy kind of craziness happening on them. I mean, here's a spot you can see if it'll focus. See, I mean, just crazy wiry nastiness. So I got it done, and I decided, you know what, I'm just going to ply it now rather than wait till morning. So I took the bobbin off my Traveler, I put another bobbin on my Traveler, and I started plying on my Traveler. And at that point, I was having trouble with the drive band popping off the bobbin, because I'm still flipping my bobbins around using the small end of it. I was not having that problem at all going in the clockwise direction. Counterclockwise, it did not want to stay on, and I don't know why. I'm thinking, why did I not have this problem the last time I plied something? What is going on? And then I realized I haven't been using my Traveler to ply. I've been using my Sidekick because I've got the jumbo bobbins. There was no way I was going to get all of this on one bobbin on the Traveler. I'm like, ugh. So I stopped plying on the Traveler. I just broke the yarn. I got the Sidekick over, plied all the rest of it. I mean, I hadn't gone very far to begin with, so I plied the bulk of it on the Sidekick, and then when I was done, I just tied the little bit that I had done on the Traveler to the end, and added it. So there's a knot in here, which whatever. And I got done, and honestly, I was totally surprised once I wound it off onto my Nitty Knotty. I was shocked that this is not more twisted than it is. I mean, it's really, and I think most of the twist you're seeing right now is just from it being twisted into a hank. I'm really surprised it's not just going coil all over the place for as much as overplot or as overspun as that second bobbin was. I tried to compensate by underplying, but it's not a really uniform, consistent yarn to begin with. So I don't know, but it's okay. I mean, it's fine. I don't know what I'll make with it. Maybe it'll become an Afghan square. This color would look good in my Afghan, so we'll see. But I did get about 143 yards, and I'd say it's probably a DK weight. These two have not been soaked yet. I actually went on a major soak binge the other day because I had not only the 4 that I showed you last week that I spun, but I had a whole tote bag full of hand spun that I've done in the last, I don't know, year and a half that never got soaked. And so even though just sitting that long probably set their twist pretty well, I wanted them to do their blooming and everything that they should be doing. So I did that. I've got a huge pile of it sitting over here in my corner. I'd show it to you, but you've seen it all before. But it's so much softer and fluffier. And so I'm actually hoping maybe some miracle will happen whenever I soak this, and it might not be quite as hideous to me. I should not have even tried messing with it last night. I was not in the mood. Never spin when you're tired and not in the mood to spin. It just doesn't end well. So anyway, that's my spinning. But I do have some spinning. I'm going to call it spinning adjacent. I keep hearing people on podcasts refer to knitting adjacent. I have no idea where that term originated, which podcast it started on, and other people picked up on it. And I'm honestly not even 100% sure what it means. I mean, I know what the word adjacent means. It means like next to. So does it mean like it's not knitting, but it's related to knitting? Some people seem to use it that way. Some people seem to use it as like, okay, it's not knitting that I'm working on now, but I'm going to be knitting on it. Knitting adjacent? I don't know. Planning for knitting? I'm not entirely sure of what it means. So if somebody out there wants to tell me, please let me know on the episode thread. I'm going to just take it to mean getting ready to do it. I'm not doing it, but getting ready to. And that's what this is, my spinning adjacent. This isn't actual spinning, but it's preparation to spin something. So let me grab my basket. I've got a big basket for this one. I decided I've got, okay, let me see if I can move and show you this bin right here. And yeah, it's mostly that bin right there. Plus, I think I have a little bit of stuff in my closet too over here. But that bin directly behind me is filled with natural colored fibers, just natural fiber, not dyed, and it's filled with a lot of different ones. That's one of the things I love about going to fiber festivals and shows. I love to seek out fibers that are new to me, things I've never worked with before. It makes me happy. It's a lot of fun. So I have a bunch of it. And so I pulled out these two balls, whoops, of roving. These are Lincoln, and they smell really, really sheepy. I think I got these at Waynesburg, the Waynesburg Sheep and Fiber Festival a couple of years ago. That's really close to me, about an hour, hour and a half away. I was vending there that year, and oh crap, I left the card sitting over there. Hang on, let me grab it because I want to be able to tell you where I got it from. Where are you? Okay, here we are. I'm back. Okay. I got these along with a bunch of others, which I'm not showing you because I'm not working on them right now, but these were from Cranberry Creek Fibers. And I'm not actually sure where they're located. It's a 410 area code. Heritage Breed Sheep, Fleece, Roving, and Yarns. And they do have a website, cranberrycreekfibers.com. So that is the card with a cute sheepy on it. Anyway, I picked up a bunch of different fibers from them, and it was all mostly small balls. I believe these were maybe like 2 ounces, but these are both Lincoln. One is a light gray, one is a darker gray. And so what I decided to do, and I don't know why I decided to do this, but I thought it would be fun, is I pulled out my combs, or otherwise known as pointy instruments of death. Scary pointy instruments of death. These are super sharp. I got these at Rhinebeck 3 years ago, maybe. They are, you comb certain wools to create top. Top is combed, roving is carded. Okay. What combing does is align the fibers. Okay, think about combing your hair, how it lines all the fiber, all your hairs up. I'm not going to do it with these because I'll have bleeding scalp. But you know what I mean. So like all of your hair is kind of in a nice row whenever you've combed it, as opposed to when you brush it and it just kind of gets all every which way. Same general principle with combing versus carding. So combing, and I have been combing the dark and the light together to make little nests of a mixed. So here's the 2 originals. I'm not sure how well you'll be able to see the difference. I guess you can see that pretty well. So the light and the dark, and then my little tiny nests of mixed Lincoln. So I'm just having so much fun with it, even though it doesn't want to focus. There we go. Can I get the other 2 in there? There, you can kind of see the difference pretty well. Anyway, I've got a whole bunch of them. I need to weigh them and see how much. See in my basket, there's a bunch of them in there. There's probably at least 10, if not more. Because my goal here is I want to get enough of those spun that I have almost equal weights of the light, the mixed, and the dark, and then I'm going to spin them end to end. I don't know how fine Lincoln will spin. I should have, you know what, I'm just going to grab it. This is the hopping up and down episode. Okay. The Field Guide to Fleece by Deborah Robson and Carol Acarius. I was looking at this when I first pulled this out, so I will just pull it out again and tell you. Okay, Lincoln long wool. So it is a long wool. And I'm just going to read this. These big, rare English long wool sheep, here's what they look like. Grow big wool, heavy fleeces with lots of long, shiny fiber that can be spun into sturdy, smooth, or textured yarns. The firm, heavy locks have pointed, often spiraling tips and broad, well-defined crimp. You can spin directly from the locks, pick, flick, or comb. Viking combs work well. Mine are not Viking combs, I don't think. I have no idea what kind of combs these are. They say indigo hound on them. That's all I know. And they were made in the USA in 1989. I got them at a random booth in Rhinebeck. I don't know. Anyway, I thought they were English combs, but maybe they're not that either. Let's see. Keep your hands far apart when drafting, because it's a long wool. You don't want to be holding onto the same staple trying to draft it. It won't work. Effect of dyes. I'm not dyeing this, so that doesn't really matter. Best uses. Use the locks directly to make dolls' wigs or weave them into fleece rugs. Look to Lincoln long wool for hard-wearing, sturdy, gorgeous fabrics. Use lamb's wool for finer textures. The adult fiber should be used for more rugged items, such as upholstery, rugs, long-wearing bags, and shiny tapestries. You'll have to work to get this fleece to felt. Okay, so it's saying the origins from England, the fleece weights, you don't care about that probably, 11 to 16 pounds. The staple length they're saying is 7 to 15 inches. I have to say I've not really noticed that. This seems much shorter. Now, this has obviously already been processed into roving. At least I'm assuming it's processed into roving, because it could be, I don't know. This looks way more jumbled to me than what I'm getting after I'm carding it or combing it, but I don't know. I honestly don't know what this preparation was. It could be top. I don't know. So I'm, at any rate, the staple length on this just does not seem to be nearly that long, though. I mean, here's, I'm trying to pull one out to show you. I'm going to say maybe 5 inches at the most, 4 or 5 inches. Definitely not 7 to 15. So, yeah. Natural colors, white, gray, black. Well, I've got grays and a dark gray, which could be considered black, I guess. I have to say, the booth that I bought this from, they had a whole bunch of baskets of different fibers, and this was the only one that did not actually have a tag attached to the individual balls. So part of me kind of wonders, is this really Lincoln? Maybe it's something else, and it was just mislabeled. My receipt, which is in with all of the stuff that I bought from this place, says Lincoln on it. So I'm going with Lincoln. But anyway, I'm combing it. I am not a professional at this. This is actually the first time I have ever used my combs to do anything more than just kind of play around. I'm really enjoying it. I haven't impaled myself yet. These combs did not come with the stand. Some combs come with a stand where this will go in and then lock into the thing. So you have one that's very stationary, and then the other one you comb the locks or the fiber off this way. The other thing is I'm using this to blend. I'm not using this with raw fleece, okay? Like I'm not processing fleece with it. I'm just blending colors from stuff that was already processed. So I'm sure that also accounts for a difference in how it's being used. But the other thing I'm doing is I'm using my Diz. This is the first time I've gotten to use my Diz. I bought this last summer at SSK. Lori from Deerfield Creations had some of these at her booth. There's fiber sticking all over it. And basically what you do is once you have the fiber combed and you have it on the one comb, you take, this is the threader part, and I've been using this little middle hole here, and you put it through there, and then you start at one end of the comb and you pull a little bit of fiber through there, through the threader, and then pull it through here. So it's like threading a needle. So then you can pull it through the Diz, and it actually just, you're dizzing it off of the comb into this long strand. So it basically keeps it uniform. You're getting this nice long uniform strand of fiber, which is called top. This is a worsted prep method. Top is combed, it's worsted. Roving is carded, it's woolen. Okay, it's a woolen preparation. This is a worsted preparation. So when I spin this, I'm planning to spin it woolen, where you're pinching and pushing the air out of your fibers, as opposed to letting the spin enter your fiber and open it up and have it be real airy and puffy. That's woolen spinning. Worsted spinning has nothing to do with the actual weight of the yarn. So anyway, that's my plan. We'll see how it happens. Again, I'm hoping this spins thin enough that I can then do a 3-ply. Sorry. Something is making me cough alive right here. It's probably this. And then I can do like a Navajo ply and have enough to just do like a little shawlette or something. Because again, it's only like 4 ounces of fiber. It's not going to give me anything major. Or maybe a cowl. I might do a cowl or something. But anyway, it's just been something I've been experimenting with, and it's been a lot of fun. And I'm pretty much telling anybody who wants to hear about it, like, guess what I'm doing? So I've given some impromptu demonstrations in my living room to people who have come over. Hey, you know. So anyway, that is my spinning adjacent. I might, depending on if I get the prep part done this week, maybe I'll start spinning some of it. We'll see. The other thing about spinning that I'm thinking, remember last week I talked to you about my sweater decision that I really, really want to make an antler cardigan, and I haven't done that yet. Well, that's because I don't have the yarn that I want. I don't want to buy yarn right now. I can't find any in my stash that really, really floats my boat. But as I was doing this project, this combing, it dawned on me, I've got a lot of undyed wool down in my basement. I've got a huge bag of, I know it's like a Corriedale Cross. I can't remember what. It's very, very sheepy. It's processed fiber. It's not a raw fleece or anything. But I'm thinking I could use that because it's more white than off-white though. That's the only thing. I really did want to do kind of like a light gray for that antler cardigan. But that's one thing I could possibly do. I don't want to have to dye it. That's the thing. I want to find a natural color fiber. The other thing is I've got tons of fiber just in my shop's fiber stash. Most of it though is white. So again, dyeing. But I could probably buy myself a sweater's quantity of a gray fiber somewhere and use that. So I don't know. We'll see. It's just the wheels are spinning. So I might spin myself an antler cardigan or the yarn for an antler cardigan. We'll see. It's on my mind. Let's see. What else? I already talked to you about the Stranded Colorwork knit along. So please go check the threads for that. We already have one posted finished object. That's exciting. That was impressive too. The drawing. Oh my gosh, I have to hop up for this too. Good grief. Okay, I'm back again. The drawings for the mini skeins. We're doing that today. The 2 bags of mini skeins. So let's see. We had... Got to get to the thread. The mini sock yarn ball drawing. There was a total of 144 posts. I was number 1, so I will do the drawing for 2 through 144. Okay, so, and I need something to write on. All right, so let's generate. And I need something to write on. I'm going to generate both of them before I tell you what they are. Okay, so the first winner for the 1 bag of sock yarn balls was post number 114. So let me find post number 114, which will be on page 5. Number 114 was Flying Monkeys. That's Milena from Fort Worth, Texas. So congratulations, Milena. She says, Coinky Dinky, I'm not a sock knitter, so I have few sock yarn bits and have been wanting to amass some to start a blanket. Fingers crossed. Because that was my question. What would you use, or what do you think you would use the little sock balls for? So she wants to make a blanket. So yay! Flying Monkeys, please PM me with your mailing address so I can get one of these bags of lovely balls out to you. Okay, and then number 135, that'll be on the next page. Number 135 is Ziggy 519, and that's Charlene Ziegler from Lancaster, so she is in Pennsylvania. So Charlene, please PM me, and I will send you the other bag. send me your address. And she says she wants to start a beekeeper quilt as well because it kind of looks cool, and it does. I was watching Little Bobbin's Knits last night, and she did the hexapuffs, and she made a tea cozy out of these hexapuffs. Oh my gosh, it was so cute. It was just like this bumpy, it was just adorable. So go watch that if you haven't seen that yet, because it was super, super cute. All right, so yay, we have our winners for these. I will do another drawing sometime soon. I think I'm going to take this week off, but I have other ideas for some other drawings of things that are kind of in my stash that I'd like to share with other people at this point because they're not getting the love they deserve. But for now, that's it. No new drawings this week. What's up? What else? I did start a new thread on the 90% Knitting board asking what fiber events or festivals are you planning to go to this year? You know, festivals, retreats, trips, you know. I know some people go on, you know, like the trips to Iceland or Australia or, you know, all the big yarning trips. I'd love to do one of those some days. I would love to go to like Iceland. That would be awesome. So please share with us. And I shared in the opening post to that thread that on my horizon this year, Maryland Sheep and Wool and Rhinebeck are probably going to be the two that I go to this year. I'm kind of regretting that I'm not going to a retreat. Even I don't want to go to one to Vend this year, but just even the fact that I'm not getting to go to one. But that's okay. I can't do everything, and I don't have that much time to just take off and do that kind of stuff like I used to. So it's okay. I did make reservations for Rhinebeck, and I do have a hotel picked for Maryland. So I'm definitely going to be staying and going to both of those. That's the plan. Hopefully it won't change, but that's the plan as it is right now. So if you're going to either of those, hopefully I'll run into you. And I also ask in that thread, like, what is your drive for going to those things? Is it just to stash, you know, to get stash? Is it, you know, to see people? Is it, what is it? And for me, it's at this point, it's mostly to see people. I love going to these to spend time with my dear friends that I don't get to see at any other times. I do like to look for unique things, like I said, like fibers I've never spun before. Sometimes I go searching for certain pieces of equipment or tools, but generally speaking, it's mostly the people at this point that I enjoy. A couple of podcasts I started watching in the past week. They're not new, but they're new to me. Itchy Go Abroad with Sophia. I've heard that one mentioned before, and for whatever reason, I never got around to looking at it. I watched her last couple of episodes. That was so much fun. Her mom is also involved in that. Sophia is a student in Japan. She's in Japan, I guess, for this year, maybe. So she's recording from Japan, and then her mom, I guess, was there in Japan with her for a while. Now she's back home, but they put it together. So that was really fun, and she gives like some interesting information about living in Japan and foods and stuff like that. So I like that kind of thing because I've been fascinated with Japanese culture in the past, and so it's still fun to learn about that. And the other one that I don't know why I have never watched this before now, because I've heard people talk about it for a long time, is Fiber Trek with Sarah. Oh my gosh. I sat down the other day and decided I've got to watch this because people were mentioning it in other podcasts, and I sat down and I watched it, and I'm hooked. I'm hooked. I have gone back to the beginning of what I can find on YouTube, and I am just like watching all of her episodes. She is so interesting, and I laugh because she says, you know, her thing is she knits with a lot of gray yarn. I love gray yarn. Gray yarns have such depth and interest to me. Even though I'm a dyer and I dye so many bright things, but I love like these natural yarns and fibers that I'm working with. I love the natural colors. They make my heart sing. So watching her, and she's just so intelligent and has so much knowledge about, you know, sheep and fiber and its origins and its characteristics. And that's what her whole Fiber Trek, the episodes where they go and they go to see different farmers and things like that, that comes into play there. I don't fully understand the entire concept of that. I think it's an ongoing project, but it's fascinating to me and I love it, and I am gonna just work my way through all of her episodes because it's making me very, very happy. So Sarah, I'm watching you. That sounds creepy, but anyway. This is getting to be kind of long. Let me just go into goals revisited, just since I've been doing this, and I can let you know. I told you, January, I finished all my fiber-related goals because I did get to my halfway point on the Another Door Opens. Oh, that's another thing. She has a podcast, Yarns at Yin Hu. Sarah Bauer. She has. How have I not known this? If you go to that page, to that group on Ravelry, the Yarns at Yin Hu podcast group, she's got this gorgeous picture of this room. I don't know if it's, I'm assuming it's actually maybe her room or studio or whatever. It just, I have to watch. I have got to watch that at some point. That's going to be another one on my list. Anyway, I finished my fiber-related goals. I have some leftover January goals, personal goals that are rolling over into February. But that's the way it's going to be. And I really won't bore you with those ones for right now. I actually did cross one off already because I'd split the remaining firewood. I did that yesterday, so I got to write that off. Fiber related though, in February, I want to finish the Another Door Opens shawl, which I know I can do because I don't have that much farther to go. I would like to spin the Lincoln that I showed you that I've been combing. I would like to I want to finish the Atlantic Current socks. I want to at least get to the halfway point on my Mama Vertebrae and the Sheep Heid hat. I have no desire to race through that Sheep Heid hat because I know it's going to take me a while. It's a 2-month knit along, so if I take all 2 months, I don't care. What I do want to start, I want to cast on a pair of Fruit Loop socks because I promised my daughter's friend Heather, who helps me out on Fridays, that I would knit her a pair of Fruit Loop socks. So that's going to be the next thing I cast on, I believe. I want to decide what I want to spin to make the antler cardigan because I do think that is going to be a future project. Let's see. I feel like I'm going out of order here. I want to start destashing. I've got tons of stuff left to destash in my deep stash. Tons of sweater, lots of yarn, commercial yarns that I'm just not going to use. I'm just not going to use them, and I need to get them out of here. I would like to regain the space. So I have a goal of listing 5 destash items at least, minimum, per week through February. So, and I'll still have it to go for months after that too, but that is my goal. So we'll see how I do with that because it involves photography and, you know, listing because I don't have all these things up on Ravelry already. And then also these are kind of more businessy related, but they're also fiber related. I need to work on updating my colorway galleries for Fiber Nymph Dye Works because I'm getting rid of some colorways that I'm not going to be dyeing anymore. Not any of the super popular ones, so don't panic. And I need to add some of my newer ones. And I also need to order new business cards. I've got 2 boxes left. I always order 4 at a time, but inevitably I wait until the last minute to get business cards. I need to not do that this time. So anyway, yeah, a lot of my personal stuff, I still have to finish my tax stuff. I have to meet with my accountant, which is happening next week. I still need to finish reorganizing my bedroom shelves and closet and drawers and all that. I still need to paint the shelf for my entertainment center, and I've decided I'm just going to use the red paint that I have. It's not the perfect match, but it's inside the cabinet. Nobody's going to really care. I need to work out a revised budget for myself, not because of anything bad. It's just that enough stuff has changed that I feel like it's time. It's always a good idea to revisit your budget like once a year, I think, or when you do have changes, and it's both for me. So I need to work on that, and I figure once I've got my taxes done, I'll have a better idea of where I am with things, what my year looked like last year. And the other thing is I really want to start journaling. I just have so much going on in my head that I need to get it out somehow instead of blathering it to you guys all the time or whatever. I want to start journaling again. I think I need to. So anyway, those are the goals for February. And then I've still got my vague goal of researching the steps in the walkway for the front yard to hopefully do that this summer. I also want to research pellet stoves as an option for the stove I have downstairs because this firewood thing is going to kill me. But anyway, 10%. I spent a lot of time this week on ice management because my driveway turned into a skating rink thanks to the snow and then melting and then freezing and it was not pretty. And gravel driveways suck in this respect, especially when they're hilly, because you can't put salt or melting agents on them because it then melts the ground underneath as well, and it turns everything into a bog, which is not fun to deal with. I know this from experience from a long time ago when we first moved here. So I've been working on that. We did get more snow last night, and it's only a couple inches, but I think I'm going to go out later today and plow it off just to make sure that it does not melt and freeze and do that same mess again. Emma will be home in 21 days for her term break, so yay, I can't wait to see my girl. Largely, my biggest non-tangible thing this past week is I've just been thinking a lot about needing to be more cognizant of the things that I can control and accepting the things that I can't control. I can't control what the weather does. As much as it frustrates me and I would like to, I can't. I cannot control it. I wish I could. I can control how I react to it and how I deal with it. Same way, I cannot control other people. I can't control what they think, what they say, what they do, either on their own or in interactions with me. I can't control that. I wish I could because I know how I want things to go, but that's not always their game plan. And that's hard, especially when it's people I love and that are close to me. So I'm really trying to work on being more accepting of the things that I can't control and just letting them go. And being my own person apart from those things. I need to. Otherwise, I'm going to make myself crazy. The gym is still going well, though. We're back at it 3 days a week. I'm finally seeing results on the scale, too. I mean, I've been feeling really good, but the scale hasn't really budged much. And all of a sudden, this past week, boom, 5 pounds were gone, plus the other couple of bouncy pounds that go on and off and on and off. So I would say I've lost about 7 pounds since starting to do this back in the beginning of January. So I'm really happy about that. I know the numbers on the scale are not the whole story, and it's not what you should be focused about, but it's always nice to have that affirmation. I think it is anyway. But my clothes are fitting a little better, and I feel better. I have a lot of days now where I kind of feel like I'm having skinny days, so I'll take it. Miles to go, but I'll take these little wins. The only other thing, shop news related, there's no shop update this week. I am working on getting the last club yarn shipment ready to go, so it can ship by the end of next week. So be looking for that if you are in the club, the 6-stripe sock. The 6-stripe sock yarn club. If you are in that club, your last shipment will be coming to you next week as long as you have paid for it. I think there's a few outstanding payments yet that I need to track down, but otherwise it's coming to you soon and I can't wait. The next shop update will actually be on Monday, February 16th, which is President's Day here in the United States. So a lot of people are off that day. I thought that might be a good day to do the update. And that will be at noon Eastern. But I will preview all of that stuff next week when I record. So anyway, that is everything. I've now gone over by an hour. No, I've gone over an hour by like 3 minutes. I hate when I do that. I like to keep these under an hour. I try. I really do. So anyway, that's it. I hope you guys are having a wonderful week. I hope everything is not frozen and icy where you are. And just, enjoy your time. Enjoy your spinning and your knitting and your other fiber arts. And, if you're like me, just relax and try not to worry about the things you can't control. We can all do this together. So anyway, until next week, take care. I'll see you later. Bye.